We're good.
We're on. Wow. Well, welcome back for another installment of Firestorm at Home. We are very excited to present to you guys Parkour episode 12. That's right, 12. We've done a bunch of previous episodes and talked about a bunch of previous stuff. So, one of the first things that you guys should have done in this few moments while we dealt with some technical difficulties and got ourselves started, you guys should have started getting yourselves clear, right? It is 3 o'clock, it's time for class, or it's just past it. So we've moved our chair and table out of the way, and our extra chair is even further out of the way. One of the things that you guys are possibly going to want today, just to deaden some of the impact, is going to be a, stack of blankets. So I have 2 blankets that are pretty large blankets here. I'm excited. We're going to be doing some round-offs and practicing round-off drills. Obviously, I'm not doing a full round-off in my living room, but I am going to be practicing some of the workouts and some of the drills that you guys are really going to be finding useful for your round-offs. So, without too much further chit-chat, we're going to get started with our strong stance, wide and open. If you guys are on hardwood floors, maybe you won't want those carpets, or those blankets rather. You'll probably want to move the carpet. So keep that in mind for today's class. So I am here on our carpeted floor, very excited, wide stance, strong posture, chin is up, and I'm gonna turn it over and roll it out. Just like every class, back and forth. And don't drop your posture. Don't fall into a slouch, keep yourself up. Nice strong spine that whole time. Nice job. Good. And we're going to go ahead and start with a nice big shoulder shrug and circle. I'm going to go forward, so lifting in this pinch in the back, boom, pinching back, then lifting up and going forward. Always mindful of my breathing, in my nose and out my mouth. Alright, good. Go ahead and stop there. We're going to go backwards now. So shrug up the front and back down into the pinch and drop and roll across the bottom. So we are really going to be using our shoulders and our traps quite a lot today. So keep that in mind. That right now we're mobilizing a very important part of today's workouts. Nice, good. Let's stop there for the shoulders and traps. We're going to roll our wrists out, so interlock the fingers and keep a tight squeeze. I like to imagine like I've broken an egg and I'm not going to let it drip. And now I'm going to roll. I'm going in one direction to start. Roll my wrists out. If you guys would like to add additional challenge, you can press your elbows to each other. Keep your forearms to each other. Keep that tension. Keep the roll going. And let's stop and go the opposite direction now. Nice. Looking good, feeling good. And go ahead and shake those out side to side. And up and down. Nice. And we're going to roll our elbows out. So hit a nice strong T pose. Hands up like cactus arms. And we're going to roll down towards our chin and chest and armpits. Moving our hands up and out the outside. Try and keep those elbows up nice and high. At about the height of your shoulder. They're bound to move a little bit, but the idea still remains to keep them up. Let's go up to cactus arms and go the opposite direction. So we were coming down towards ourselves. Now we're going out and away. Big extension, big lockout, full reach through the wrist. Good, and let's stop there. Go ahead and bring those in. Nice, upper body should be feeling good. We're gonna move into our torso. So widen up that stance just a little bit more, and we're gonna do a nice long hold with these twists. So get into your max of your twist and hold it. We're gonna hold it for 3 seconds together. At this point, you guys probably have done it with me, and if not, if it's your first time, I'm sure you'll catch along pretty quick. We're gonna twist to our max, and 3, 2, 1, untwist, and opposite side, same thing. Twist and look, and max, 3, 2, 1, and untwist. We're gonna go once more in each direction. So twist your max, and 3, 2, 1, and untwist. Last time, all the way to the maximum of your ability to move and twist, and 3, 2, 1. Nice. We're gonna add a little momentum now. So swing the arms into that twist and twist that torso just slightly faster. Look where you're twisting, just like we did before. All right, nice. We're gonna go ahead and roll our hips out now. So isolate the spine and tilt and curl the hips. Nice big hip circles or hula hoops. And let's go the opposite direction. Good, and always mindful of our breathing. Always slow in through the nose, out through the mouth. Nice. Keep that going. Let's stop there with the hip circles and bring the feet and knees together for some knee circles. That's right, I said it. So squat down nice and low and circle them out. We're gonna go washing machine method on these ones. So just a few back and forth in each direction, like 3 or 4 in either circle, and then switch. Try and keep the feet pinched together. Really squeeze through the toes and the heels. Keep them together. Same for the knees. Don't let them come apart. Good, back and forth. Nice, and we're gonna go ahead and walk a few steps in place. When you step down, I want you to hyperextend that leg and hold that extension as best as you can. Lift the opposite foot up into the air. Hold yourself just for a moment on that extended leg, locked out. And now we're gonna add to that just a little calf raise. Just like that, so knee comes up, calf raise up on the planted foot, boom. Just like that, nice and slow. Keep your balance. Now, I did mention that you guys would want a stack of blankets for today's lesson. One of the other things that would help is like a flat wall. Now, I know this isn't quite an actual flat wall, but this will help to serve as a flat wall for one of the things that we have talked about and are just going to kind of run over in today's lesson. So we are just about all mobilized. I'm very excited. We're going to start our warm-ups with a light jog in place. If you guys have a mat today, that's super great, super helpful, especially if you're on hardwood floors. We're doing stuff like handstands, kick handstand, snap down where we come out of that. That's going to be one of the drills we work on today. We're going to come out of that pretty aggressively. If you're on a slippery surface, can be very dangerous. Like I said, I recommended that you guys have a couple old blankets. They're gonna act as a mat or a deadener. If you put a blanket down on a hardwood floor and you slam onto it, you might slip, you might fall, you might get hurt. I'm not advising you to do that. So, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Find a carpeted space in your home, if you have it. If you don't, this is going to be a tough one, but you may be able to pull it off without a stack of blankets, just on your hardwood space. So go ahead and give that light jog a break. We're going to get dropped down nice and low. We're going to do a few push-up shrugs. So I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again, doing a lot of shrugs here today. So hands down, nice strong push-up position. Hold yourself out straight, and we're going to pinch the shoulders behind us, and then push the shoulders down under us to a nice big hollow in the spine. We'll do a few more, different angle. So pinch the shoulders behind us, push the hollow, good. Pinch the shoulders, push the hollow. And so we're going to continue with that. We're going to do just a few more of those together. So I was rotating, you guys could see different examples of that. So let's get a few of those done together. Hands down nice and flat, squared out, strong push-up position. And at your own pace, I'm going to pick up the speed of mine just a little bit from the example. So up in a hollow, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Good. So you should feel that all through your chest, your arms a little bit in the sense that we're suppressing our body's weight, and you'll feel a little bit of the back. Ooh, when you pinch. We're going to flip on over and take a seat. So flip to your bottom. We're going to go into a nice long extended hollow body hold and do a few hollow body rockers, because your hollow is super important for your round offs, your handstands, and all the cool fun stuff that we're working on today. So hit that hollow position. Nice extended reach overhead like so. As I'm laying out, my legs are out in this pointed toe position, curled up and off the ground. Shoulders and head will be up and off the ground. We're going to roll back and forth. You can roll till heels touch and until your thumbs touch. But you need to keep that strong, hollow bodied arch. Right? Good. Let's go ahead and give those a break for just a moment. Those can be pretty tough. And if you guys didn't expect to get down and use that much room, that's about as much room as we're going to need for today's class for that lesson. So our body's laying down length. We are going to kick the handstand today. So if you haven't practiced that, we've had it in a bunch of previous episodes. Practice it. We are also going to do some spider walk to handstand as well, using a wall, or my improvised wall that is going to be strong and sturdy and should be just fine. So, you guys, we should be all warmed up and mobilized. Go get a quick sip of your hydration liquid of choice. I'll meet you mine. Go. I'll be right back. All right. Oh, snap. Whew. I am well hydrated, not overly hydrated, that's the thing. Some people will go for their water break, they'll accidentally drink too much water. Don't do that. It's bad for you. You want to control your intake, and that goes for everything, like good meal portion size and stuff like that. So, now, back to our lesson. We're going to start with that wall. I said earlier, if you have a flat wall, that will be super helpful. If you had a mat that you were using, move your mat over to a flat wall. Go ahead and get there. The first thing that we are going to do is a spider walk to handstand. Because if you don't have a handstand position, well, that's what we're going to do. There's some people that are stuck doing like tripod, and honestly, it's really hard to push yourself up. So one of the first things that you want to do is hit very strong extended locked arm position in your push-up. From there, walk your feet up your wall. So I'm going up,
my wall, walking in, just like so. Oh my goodness.
Good, you guys can go ahead and come on down. I'm going to tuck in my shirt so you can see and hear me. Now, you guys, good stuff so far. If you found that wall, if you have those blankets or those mats, one of the things that you can do is cushion the space under you or around you with that. So you can bring those over and set them down. I'm on my carpet, I think I'll be just fine. Again, strong extended arm position. And when I walk up, it's just controlled increments with the feet and slowly in with the hands, and the feet come up and the hands go in, and it's kind of this balancing act of one and then the other. Then I'm up. Great. Now, shrug. That's tough. That's a full body weight shrug. We're going to get just a few of those. Oh, then come down. Now, we have talked about the right way to come down if you're using a wall. So I would hope that you guys are all safely descending from your handstand. I kind of get to cheat my way out of it, but it is, well, significantly harder than using an actual wall. So trust and believe that it is no easy task. Now, I understand doing those handstand shrugs can be very tough. I told you guys we're going to be doing a lot of stuff like that for our handstands. You need those for your round-offs. That's just really all there is to it. You're also going to need to have that handstand position. So if you don't have that, you'll probably want to take it back just a little bit. Check out our tutorial number 5. Okay, guys? So Justin does a really great job of talking about the spider walk handstand, and actually he explains how to do the shrug in that video. So really awesome opportunity to get a workout that you'll need, because the next skill that we have moving forward is our kick to handstand. So taking all that nice open extended space that we had before that we're actually going to use now, we're going to hit a strong lunge position, our lunge to teeter-totter. We're going to use that just to warm up a few. So nice strong extended lunge. I'm going to tip my hands down and kick up and come back down. Nice. Good. Teeter-totter. Coach, those blankets. Yeah, cool. Don't leave them there. You're going to pick them up, move them. We'll need those in just a moment. Promise. You're going to do just a few more of a teeter-totter, and if you guys are feeling it or you're comfortable with it, instead of doing your teeter-totter, you can join me in your kick to handstand, because that's going to be our goal. So, I'm on my dominant side lunge, leaning in, going to tip over, and I'm not kicking up into a full handstand and a hold. I'm just really toe tapping my feet together. You guys can see, I'm going to do another one. I'm not even really hitting that fully inverted point. I'm not kicking all the way over. Right? I am upside down, I am inverted, but I'm not at like 12 o'clock. If my feet were the arms of a clock, I'm not pointed straight up. I'm still over at like 1 o'clock or 11 o'clock, however you imagine it. So I'm here, nice strong lunge, tip in, kicking up. We're going to get that going. Just a few more. Nice. Okay. Good. Go ahead and give it a break. You were either doing your lunge to teeter-totter, or you were joining me in your kick to handstand. And again, not a full hold. Wow. That's a lot of inverting and coming back. Going over and coming back. I like to take a second, deep breath in and out. We're going to do that 2 more times because we are flipping upside down quite a lot, pretty rapidly. So, again, in, out, once more, in, and out. Good. Now, the second half of your handstand when you're falling back down. We have an opportunity to work on our round off in that moment. So instead of stepping out into a lunge, we would snap our feet down. And you guys hear me saying snap down, that's because that's just kind of what we call the drill that we do. So a snap down, be mindful, I'm not going to kick my fan or anything else around me. Snap down looks a little bit more like this. I'm going to kick to a handstand and snap myself into a strong, hollow, essentially handstanding position, but up on my feet. Right. And now I'm not stomping super hard. I am kind of absorbing a little bit. The drill that we're doing right now, most of this is designed to shrug and teach you how to throw yourself up and off your hands. If I'm upside down and I need to jump off the floor and my hands are the thing that I'm using to jump, I push and I go all the way through. And then if that would make these my ankles, and these my knees, and these are my hips. And every part of that needs to be used for our jump. Just like when we jump here, I squat and I load my weight in, and I push everything out through those three major joints. I'm doing that same thing here. But this and this, that's really hard to do that push. So if we're already locked out, squeezing super tight, like we learned in some of those tutorials in previous episodes, if we're locked out super tight, then all we need to do is shrug and push through the shoulder. Big use of that shoulder and that back. And if you're not moving your shoulder blade to help you shrug, you're missing out on a lot of back activation. And that's a big, giant muscle. So we're going to do a few snap downs together. We're going to hit that lunge on our dominant side, and from the kick in, we go almost all the way up. As we fall down, our feet stay together, snap them. I like to aim for somewhere in between where my feet are at in my lunge. This is a good idea to help me out. One of the other things, like I said before, if you want it, if you need it, you can have a stack of blankets to help deaden some of your impact. So that way you're not stomping super hard, but you don't feel like you're going to hurt your feet. Because there are some people that, well, round-offs just they don't quite agree with. So I'm going to go ahead and put my front foot over here in my cushion. And this is not necessary, just helpful. I'm going to go into my handstand and snap down. Alright, and so there is a little bit of adjustment that happens in the body. I go from this really long extended hollow to a slight curl where my hips curl a little bit, maybe even my legs bend a little bit. And our goal is to practice this movement so that we get some of the hip curl, but we essentially iron out the legs. We straighten them out so that when we kick the handstand and we snap down out of it, we don't have any of that bend in our knees, not at least until we're absorbing on that mat. So let's try it again together. Strong lunge, balanced, kick the handstand and snap down. Nice. Whew. So, now, practicing this on both sides using your dominant leg and your non-dominant leg is super helpful. I only have so much time to work with you guys, and I want to get you all the information that I have planned out for today's episode. You and I should know it's quite a lot, just like any of the previous episodes. There's a lot that I have to share. So, you guys, we're going to do a few more of these and get a quick drink of water and move on to our next part of class, right? But again, these are important for round-offs. That's what this is really pushing you for. So, nice strong lunge. Hold yourself strong and upright. Tip down to the handstand. Snap. And there we are. That's our snap down. And like I said, it's not a skill, it's a drill. And drills will build to get you those skills. The more that you can practice that, the more that I want you to challenge yourself. My stack of blankets, if it was a foot tall or 2 foot tall, it would be really hard to snap down onto that. And so if you guys had a few more blankets and you can add on to that, that's another challenge that you can give yourselves. Additionally, You're looking for hang time. Hang time is the amount of time that we float in the air. You're looking for hang time from the hands before you put your feet down. So one last one, really exaggerating that. I'm going to take my mat away so you can see my full drop. I'm going to come off my hands and try and go up through my arc as best as possible before my feet hit the ground, making as much hang time as possible. So strong lunge, tip in, right? And it should be pretty clear that my hands come off the ground and there's a brief moment before my feet hit it. And that's when we tip and turn our body the most. The more that we can rotate, the more that we can really get the benefit of this drill. So guys, go get a quick sip of water. I'm going to get a quick sip of mine. Not too loud. Perfect. All right, go ahead and come on back, guys. So that was a wonderful, brief drink of water. I'm super hydrated after that, very excited. And you guys got to practice just a little bit of what you need for your round off. Now, there is a little bit more that we're going to practice. Today's episode is almost entirely round off and handstand. It's really it. So now, if you guys have not checked out our previous episode for handstands, it's a really good one. We also have a bunch of really cool videos on our YouTube playlist. That is our tutorials playlist, all done by Justin. Very wise, very informative, long tutorials. You guys want to check that out. We have one for the next upcoming portion. We're going to be using our kick to handstand some more and our handstand hold, trying to hold that for a second as best as possible using tutorial number 38. So Justin taught us a bunch of cool stuff in that about how to shrug and hold ourselves up as best as possible, things that I've already addressed in previous handstand episodes. So going forward with a slightly more, I'd say intermediate, not maybe like super advanced, but not like super newbie, or maybe like basic level of handstand and intermediate level of handstand practice. That's kind of where we're moving forward towards, or with and about that level. So getting that lunge and kicking into that handstand, trying to hold that for just a little bit longer now. So pull the heels really tightly over the hips when you get upside down. That's a very, very helpful tip. Squeeze in, heels over hips. Just squeeze just a little bit tighter. And it's always better to undershoot it and add a little more on every additional opportunity. So if I undershoot it, then now I know, a little bit more. That's always the goal. Just like that. So my first one, I came down a little quick. Went, okay, now I've learned from that. If I accidentally flip over, bad news bears, guys. I can't really learn from that because it's a hard way to judge from overpowered movement to tone it down. So underpowering the movement puts us in a position where we land safely and we can learn from it a little bit more effectively. So let's practice that kick to handstand again using our dominant side for now. You guys, second half of class is that you watch this episode a second time and do it with your non-dominant leg. We only have so much time, so I'm gonna get back into this, okay? So, dominant leg, kick to handstand and hold. Nice. Good, strong, balanced movements are, try and avoid movements here in the hands. If we start strong in our lunge, when we kick up, we'll stay strong in our handstand. So from here, going down, I don't really move. So when I kick all the way up into the handstand, that same thing applies. Let's do just another one. No, let's do 3 more together. Ha! I think it's an important thing that we all need to practice a little bit more. We should. So, kick the handstand. Don't forget to breathe, guys. Inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. A lot of people like to ask, when should I breathe? And I think the whole time, as smoothly as possible, is really the best option. As I kick in, I like to make that my inhale. So I'm ready for that impact. And then I can exhale during the hold and set down. So, trying to breathe during that whole action. If you guys could hear it. Now, that was 2 together. Let's do our third one. All right. Very, very nice. Control is important for our next skill. We talked about having a wall. That's great. You guys got the wall. Awesome. You used the wall. Perfect. That was one of those. Now, we talked about having the blanket as well. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to recommend, if you guys have, is a couple of pillows or cushions, right? I have a couple of couch cushions, but I'm going to use not like couch pillows, not this time. Instead, I'm going to use my big old long body pillow. If you guys have like a normal pillow, they're usually about half the size. So like maybe 2 normal pillows equals body pillow. You guys get the math. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that up inside of my blankets so I can make a makeshift mat for myself. Because we're going to do a kick to handstand and a forward roll out. We've practiced our forward roll at this point in some previous episodes. We'll do just a few on our mat to get used to our mat after we make that mat. So I'm going to open that blanket up just a little bit, roll that pillow up into it. Slightly larger blanket. I'm a bigger guy. You guys, most of my students here are not adult-sized bodies, so there. Now I've got a fairly cushioned, padded, soft environment for me to aim my spine onto. Because I did get a couple of comments, people that were telling me in personal messages that, hey, those forward rolls, even on my carpet, can hurt my back. Coach, what should I do about that? I say, well, you build up some back muscle and some tolerance, and that helps. So working out your back muscles will help. But in the meantime, some extra cushion doesn't hurt either. So we're going to put that cushion long ways at the opposite end of where our handstand is going to go. I'm going to set mine over here. You guys can see more of my roll this way. I'm going to strike my lunge. My hands are going to go towards the end of my mat. I'm going to make the kick into my handstand and roll. But first, I'm going to make sure I have room. I've got like some furniture over there. I might have to move that furniture if I don't want to hurt myself or damage my furniture. So, check that out. That looks a little close. The best decision sometimes is to take a second and to readjust if you need to. Because that's what we do as smart people. And go for our forward roll, make sure we have the space. So, it's pretty tight, but I think it will do. We are going to do just another forward roll or 2 to make sure that we got that spacing. Cool, awesome, nice. Now if you guys need to take an extra forward roll, you can. It's always advised. Take as many as you need until you feel comfortable. Then, before you combine the movements, we're going to do a few of our kick to handstand in this new space, this new orientation for our body. So just get used to it. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Feel it out. Okay, and that's really our end goal. To be able to take our handstand, control it, but overpower it just a little bit in forward roll out on our mat. So that's really our goal right now. Having that mat that we made, awesome, super helpful. If you guys have your own mat at home, don't worry about it for right now. If you've already got it out, great. But most of the time they're very big and they're bulky, and I don't want you guys to accidentally get, too much in the way. Now, if you have siblings, it is wise to just share. Yes, there's no reason for us to have 2 mats out. If you want to put the mat side by side so that it feels wider or safer, okay. But really, this is just enough for even 3 people to take turns on and to practice and step out of the way and make sure that we all get a good turn to go. So, caught my breath. I've let my imaginary siblings take their turns, being respectful of that, or I can keep just going and going. But if you get too dizzy, it will really mess you up. So let's do another one. Slow at the handstand and smooth into the forward roll by really bending and setting our chest down. Working all those same muscles that we need to push when we do our round off. So now setting ourselves down, doing essentially a negative handstand push-up into a forward roll. So this is one of those really awesome ways that you can practice, even eventually building up the strength for your handstand push-up. So from that strong lunge position, up. Ooh. Caught a little bit of shift in my hands. Maybe I should kick into it a little bit harder if I'm feeling that under shifting hand placement. Make sure you lock those, place those really firmly into the ground. Let's do another one. There's that hand shift. Happens when I don't kick up enough, so I'm going to kick a little bit harder now. Nice. Feeling good. Just that little bit of extra power. Because when we do actually do round offs, and I'm spacing out my living room like I'm going to actually do a round off. But when we do actually do round offs, it's important to know that it's like you're shooting out and across. So the space that we take up with our handstand and a forward roll is usually about the space that you take up for your round off. Where you finish that forward roll, instead, you'd be finishing your snap down. One of the things that we can practice, if you guys are really advanced, pushing forward, using some of this overpowering from that kick to handstand, we're going to do a front to back cartwheel. If you guys haven't checked it out, we have a tutorial for it. Oh my God, such a good tutorial. No, I think it's 40. Sorry, hard to read. Silly handwriting. Now, no, tutorial number 40 is for your front to back cartwheel. You can practice that by stepping into and then out onto our mat. Turning our hands, making this nice big T with our hands turning in the direction of our front leg. So I've got my right leg in front, turning my hand to the right, turning my opposite hand down so far that it overturns towards my right hand as well. So, whoa, cushy mat, soft, cushy. Nice, helps me out. Now, if you guys don't want the mat, you can get the mat out of there. I'm going to go ahead and take the mat away. I've got a lot of practice. I don't feel like I need the mat, don't want the mat. So, now for you guys that are still practicing, cool, cartwheels onto the mat, great. Now, you can also snap down at the end of your cartwheel, and that's how we really do our round off. We can do it very slowly by doing a cartwheel to handstand first. This is its own whole drill. Having the mat on the other side of you helps you if you step down early or late, either way. So, cartwheel, turning, and then stopping and holding my handstand. It's a slightly more advanced drill. I'm going to demonstrate from the opposite side now. Oh no. Control yourself and come down when you get a little out of control. Try and keep your legs straight. One more time. Yes. Cool. Awesome. Man, sometimes it's really sketchy trying not to kick this thing. So make sure that you guys don't have any furniture in the way, that you're very controlled with your movements. When you have practiced that cartwheel to handstand, keeping that going, practicing that, it really helps you to finish after that with that snap down, because it teaches us how to really put those legs together. So, continuing with that cartwheel to handstand. Nice strong clap of the feet. You guys should even be able to hear it. Resetting, trying again. Okay, now I'm going to turn the hand just a little bit more and step down towards the opposite side, or if I feel comfortable going into it, if I have the ceiling height space, I can do my round off. Just be very careful. You don't want to damage yourself or damage any of your furniture. So, there's our round off. That's one of, well, pretty much the biggest, most asked for parkour and freerunning skills. and that's a bunch of workouts that you guys can do that will help you for that. We are going to go get a very quick drink of water, then work on just one more little bit. So we'll get a quick sip, guys. I'm gonna get mine. All right. So, coming on back, there are just a few more things that we're going to do that are really going to help us in strengthening our ability to do round-offs, and the last part of that is our hands and wrists. We're going to spend just a few minutes working those out. We're going to go on ahead and take a nice, small, comfortable spot on the floor. So I'm going to get down nice and low. I'm going to be doing just a few of these very interesting, very cool, very fun wrist push-ups where I'm going to be laying on the back of my fist, and I'm going to roll from the back of my fist to the back of my hand onto my knuckles here. So I'm strengthening my wrist in this flex and rolling position. I have just a few other strengtheners that we're going to do for the other half of that movement for the inside of the flick. So just starting with this one, it's very light, very controlled sort of thing where we can sit back over our hips to take weight off of our hands. So back of the hand to the ground. You can lean in or you can lean out. Apply as much pressure as you need and roll the wrist off the ground to the top here. Now coming down, we want to do that nice and slow as well. So I've rolled up, so I'm on my fist. Now setting myself down. And there's a lot of real serious forearm workout that's very, very crucial that will help you to make your handstands and your cartwheels and your round-offs and everything upside down like this better. It just is important. And it's one of the things, again, often overlooked. So working out your wrists, working out your forearms, and taking your time to stretch them. Super, super helpful. Nice. Good. We're going to stop with that one there. We're going to go ahead and shake them out in just a moment. We're going to go find our flat wall. We're going to get up and use that flat wall. I'm going to put my hands to that wall, and I'm going to lean into it from a slight angle. So, from this light angle here, you guys don't have to do a diamond. I am doing a diamond variation because I only have so much room to place my hands. But if you were on like an actual flat wall, I'm going to come over here. If you were on an actual flat wall, you'd put your hands wide, okay? Or super wide, fairly narrow. I'm going to be putting them into a diamond down here so that you guys can see. What I'm doing is leaning into it and pushing up off my fingers, going from this flexed position to this pointed one, just like that. And I can increase this the same way that I was doing my other wrist stretch or wrist workout. I can increase the intensity by really stepping back and leaning into it more, making it more weight pressed in that I have to push out through my forearm, pushing through here. The same way that if I was in a handstand, I was in a round off, I would push to come out of a round off like that. Or if I was in a handstand and I was accidentally falling over, oh no, I would push into my fingers to save myself to come back down to my feet. So, super helpful workout. Back in on the wall. My hands are slightly overlapped in a diamond variation. You guys can go narrow grip or set wide and push away to your fingertips and come back in. I like to keep my fingers together like they're in mittens. This helps me to feel like my fingers are a little bit stronger, more secure, more stable when I do this movement. Just a few more lifts. Those forearm push-ups are real fun. I'm a real big fan. You can tell by how excited I am. We have a love-hate relationship where I love to hate them. It's kind of great, kind of terrible, slightly toxic. but it's making me a stronger person. Okay, good. Go ahead and stop there. Shake out the wrist just a little bit. We are going to go back to our previous wrist workout, and then we're going to come back to this one, doing a small circuit of those two movements, really directly strengthening our ability to do everything in this range of motion for the wrist. So, get on back down. If you would like to, you can start on those balled fists and lean to adjust for your pressure, and then set them down. And now, in this back of hand position, it can be very challenging to keep your hands in a balled fist. Some of you are like, Coach, all I've got's like a tiger's claw, and that's about it. And that's okay, because trust me, I've got a tiger's claw too. If you've got more hand dexterity, more flexibility, then it's possible to keep your hands curled into a fist, like I am currently. And then come back in. And back down, balled fist, as best as possible. Back up. Looking to really make sure that you get a fold in the wrist. Not that I'm leaning out through my arms, but instead that I'm folding through my wrist. Just a few more, guys. I know they're tough. If you're feeling yourself really tired, you can sit back on your heels and just move them through it. And even back here, I can feel where those muscle groups are kind of working out. That forearm is getting its stretch and its workout both simultaneously. It's nice. It's very fun. Good. And let's shake that off. Stand on up. And get back to our flat wall. Hands readied. Lean in. Lift up. Nice. Just keep those lifts going. Keep your breathing strong in the nose, out the mouth. Keep it going in the nose, out the mouth. Good. All right. Go ahead and come on off the wall and give them a shake. Give them a quick moment to kind of recuperate. We are going to finish that off with a few popcorns. Woo. If you guys don't know what popcorns are, you're about to learn. They're a pretty fun one. I say fun reluctantly. So, we are going to open our hands as wide as they can go. Boom, big, super duper wide hands. Then, we are going to curl them as super tight as possible and squeeze as super tight as possible. That is really all there is to it. So, we're going to do it very slowly at first, and then try and go up and up and up in our intensity. Just like if you threw some popcorn in the microwave, you get like maybe, let's do it together, 1 pop, right? And 2 pops. And it's slow, 3 pops. But they're fast, they're pops. They're like a balloon popping. It's literally boom, boom, right? Next kernel is ready to go. Pop, and pop, 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 right? Oh, we're starting to get faster. Let's go 2. Pop, 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 pop. Start to go. Keep it going. Don't stop. Popcorn. Once it starts to get hot, the rest of it starts to go. That's really the trick here. We're really working out the hand and the forearm in this pretty high intensity workout for, I think, just that little isolated muscle group in the hand and the forearm. So keep it going. You'll start to slow down. That's okay. You've only got a few kernels left in the bag at that point. I get it. Good. And let's rest. Shake it out. That's once. We're going to do it 2 more times. You guys should be feeling the burn in the back of your hand and the top of your forearm up here. Nice. You guys, really, when you curl your hands balled into a fist, what I would like for you to additionally do is curl those knuckles here and these knuckles here down towards your forearm. So, in, and out. Big out and flex. So now we're working on so much more in that whole forearm, getting the underside of that forearm in that opening. And then in that contraction here where we're pulling in, you should feel it in the low part of the forearm. A lot of workout. Let's go. Set 2. Take a nice deep breath in. Out. Pop, 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 pop. Go. Get it. Come on, guys. Maybe you've got some veins in your forearms that are pulsing, they're bulging out right now. That's okay. That's an appropriate response. Remember, try and get that curl in the hand too. Oh. And give it a rest. You're starting to burn so good, so nice, so intense, so warm. I like to just kind of beat into my forearm just a little bit during the rest. Helps to stimulate a little additional blood flow. Nice. All right. And we're gonna get ready for our third set, our most fun set. It's our last set, so it's gonna be our most intense one because, well, we just are exhausted. We're more tired that way, and that's okay. Hope everyone's ready. And then shake those out just one last little bit. Get deep breath in and out. And go. Just go straight into it. Just get right into it, full speed, no slow build up. Just go right in, full curl, full flex. Try and get the wrist to curl in on that fist. Like you're throwing confetti. Ugh, pick it up and throw it out. Oh my gosh, that makes it so much harder. That's so good, such a nice burn. Keep it going. Good, and rest. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're on fire, but I love it. Such a good burn. And it's part of the arm that almost often just gets overlooked entirely. So we spend a lot of time really giving some love to the forearm because it does a lot of really hard work and it just doesn't get the attention it needs. So today is also going to get a bunch of attention during our stretches. So we are going to get started with our stretches in just a moment and our anime where you can ask all questions all you want. But first, like I said, go get some water. I am thirsty, I'm parched, I am dehydrated, I am, well, in need of drink. Bet you guys didn't know I can't juggle. Sorry. Alright, we are back from our last water break and we're ready to start our stretches and our questionnaire. So, if you guys have got a question, hit me with it. If you guys have left a comment on a previous video, then we're going to go ahead and find a few of those that we've saved and readied, and we're going to answer some of those today too. So, excuse me, without further ado, end of class stretches. Take a seat. Woo! And we're going to sit in the pike and stretch our forearms and our wrists out to start. So just back of the hand down and stretch out the wrist by leaning back and away. Elbows over fingers. Nice. Very good. Very comfortable. Very nice. And go ahead and flip those around. So turn the hands down and then lean back, palms pressed into the floor. Lean back, again, elbows over fingers. Get the stretch on the bottom of the forearm now. Any questions there, son?
Yeah, I'm trying to find some of the old ones. Oh, during up strides or uneven obstacles, I usually end up landing on my heel, then roll to my toes to achieve the block up. Is that wrong? How to land on the balls of my feet and block simultaneously to continue striding with no heel involvement.
Boom. Go on ahead and come out of that turn hand stretch. Interlock the fingers and roll the wrists out. We're going to go one direction and the other. I'm going to give that an answer. Some of that is terminology I may not be exactly familiar with. It sounds like you're talking about when you stride up something, you're striding fairly straight-leggedly, and that you're blocking, like sort of the way that you would punch when you do something like a round off on a spring floor. That's kind of what I'm hearing when I get that question. And so if you are blocking during strides, it's not wrong, it just is not always going to be beneficial, especially if you're going up something, where you have to bend your leg in order to get up and over a height, onto the next stride. So it's really hard to keep that extended leg or to block that way. So I really emphasize on my strides, the way I teach a lot of my strides, is that if I'm putting this foot up onto an obstacle, a lot of the stride power comes from my swinging knee, boom, propelling me from way back here to way up and way out. So go ahead and make sure that you switch those wrist rolls, and if you are doing your strides by blocking, I won't say that it's wrong. I'll just say that it's a technique that I'm not familiar with, and it doesn't sound like it's productive for going up things. Maybe if you're going across long distances and you were staying level, blocking strides might work out better for you, but doing it up things is usually about a knee drive and a slight tuck, and then the ability to really just squat and jump on one leg. So, good question, if I understood it. If I didn't, and maybe there's some terminology that we don't know, then please feel free to reach back out. I would love to be able to help out and make sure that I've also learned something too, because I firmly believe that I'm not like the master of movement. I am always going to be a disciple. I'm always a student of movement. In that sense, like I'm always going to be learning. So if you have more information on that I don't know about, I'd love for that to be added to my wealth of knowledge. So go ahead and comment. Let us know if I answer that question to your satisfaction, or if maybe I misunderstood it and you still need a little bit of help, and maybe I'll work with you to achieve that help. Let's go into a small but lovely lunge, knee down lunge, because we're practicing our round-offs and our hurdles. So I'm going to put this knee down, put this foot up. Yeah. Practicing our round-offs and our handstands, not hurdles, silly. So, nice. Hips press forward towards the front heel, and chest and chin are up. And next question if we got them.
All right, 360 strides or 360 moon step. Not much tutorials about it on YouTube. It looks so beautiful in action. What are your experiences and insights?
I really enjoy the movement as like a fun and playful thing. And there's a lot of people that do really impressive and amazing use of it. Go ahead and extend that front leg and press your chest down towards it. I don't foresee us doing a tutorial on it immediately, but it doesn't mean that we can't add it to our catalog of videos that we want to do. It is something that I think you have to have a great affinity for, both strides and twisting to pull off, obviously, right? But I mean, something like a corkscrew, where you're going up on one leg and then pulling off a full twist and then coming back down on one leg predominantly, would, I imagine, would probably help you. Even though it sounds like it's a little counterintuitive, I think it would teach you a lot about how to twist and spot. So if you have a corkscrew, great. If you guys don't have one, then practicing just doing that leg swing, a stride, and a twist would probably get you there. A lot of spotting though happens, a lot. You're running out, you're taking your final step, you're gonna go up and back, you're gonna turn back around for what you were looking for originally, then try and get either your same foot or your opposite foot out there, depending on how you're trying to pull it off. It can be a very challenging technique. It looks really beautiful when it's done. I currently won't be going over it, but like I said, we may go over it in the future. So good request, I like that, we'll add it to our document.
All right, cool. We're gonna do 2 more, and then the last 2 of the
Nice.
old
And let's
posters.
switch onto our opposite side for our knee down lunge. Hips forward, and next question, please.
Beautiful. Can you explain walking using the space between big toe and second toe trick in rail walking? Is this similar to catching a bar using the space between your thumb and index finger?
So, good question. I think I understand it. Yeah, we tend to walk, if we're on a rail,
We tend to walk heel to toe, right? Or when we're standing on it to walk there, we tend to go from in between the big toe and the pinky toe, trying to use the fact that the foot folds slightly, right? Now, if we land on a precision, when we land on that, we are usually aiming for that ball of the toe and kind of curling the toe over the front end of that just a little bit, so that kind of targeting changes. Now, if I was jumping for it in my hand, the same way, kind of like you're mentioning, that aiming between that pinky and the thumb for the grab, boom, really locking in between there, getting that grab in. Nice, super helpful. But yeah, when you're walking, I tend to aim for that space when I'm walking on the rail, because it sounds like that's what you're referring to. When you're jumping to a precision, again, ball to the toe more predominantly, there are many people that will walk on a rail, and they'll walk across their arch of their foot here, or they'll improvise steps as they're walking, and then they'll take an extra step, or they'll turn while they're walking. And so there's a lot of flair. I'm not going to say that you can't do those things, but I am going to say that it is kind of, sometimes it's against what has been proven to help and proven to work, you know? If my toe is off the rail, I can't apply pressure through my toe. My heel is off the rail, the same thing. So I try and keep my toe and my heel on it to walk and balance and keep control. Let's slide back to our extended leg stretch and take, you said one more question, Hansam?
It's one more question. It kind of pertains to me or the social media team of Firestorm, so
Sure.
just answering it. Hi, Artemis. Alright, at Summer, since you're running Moreno Valley Firestorm, why don't you create a subreddit for it and post these awesome live stream links there? It automatically get archived in the Reddit database. Also, you can post the YouTube links on r/parkour. Parkour subreddit with 46,000 subscribers, one of my friends. The whole, it basically, you know, getting us more people to follow and things like that. Basically, for what we do, I did try and post on the subreddit for r/parkour, and because it is kind of a promotion of our business, it slightly doesn't like that we are promoting it in that way. If we are able to have someone shout out though, saying, hey, I found this thing I've been following during this shutdown or the shelter in place, that might be able to be like someone is recommending us, not us, you know, advertising us. So we are trying our different links. We are vendors for homeschoolers as well, which charter funds are spent at our location. So, you know, trying to keep within the community without being too much in people's face is what we want to do. One of the things we kind of pride ourselves in is safety, as well as just how welcoming and unique we are as a family of Firestorm. So we never want to advertise or buy into advertising so it's so in your face. We like when people share about us and our family share about us. That's actually how our first location in Santa Ana got to be so big. That one has probably about, I want to say 800 to 900 students. While straddle stretch with the cat. And then our Moreno Valley location, we're almost at about 150 members. So, you know, we do have a lot of people following us, but it's whether they want to share their parkour journey as of right now or what they're listening to. Yeah.
Nice. Alright, so guys, we are doing our straddle stretch. It's one of the few stretches that we're going to finish up with. Just a few TikToks through our hips. We're turning our hips side to side. Just a little bit of extra movement, just some extra strengthening in there. And we are going to do just a few arm stretches. So we had that wall earlier today. We're going to use that wall for this last stretch in today's class for our shoulders and our chest. So hands are going to go on the wall. We're going to stand a fair distance away from it and then bring our chest down, shoulders behind our head, and extend our arms. Try and dip your chest down if you can below your hands. Nice. And come on up and out of that. Very pleasant. Very good. Very cool. Very exciting. Very parkour. We've had a very nice, wonderful, I'd say, time even with you guys. Thanks for joining us today. You guys can always check us out. We stream all the time. Just like all the time. Hit the subscribe. Hit the bell notifications. You guys, we will be on here tomorrow even. Summer, we'll be doing Acroflex. What is that? Acroflex number 13?
13.
Acrobatics number 13, lucky number 13. So you guys will check Summer out for lucky number 13 Acroflex. Then you guys following that will check me out for 3 classes on Friday. Oh, snap! 3 classes. That's right. 12 to 1 strength, 3 to 4 parkour, and 6 to 7 tricking. I'm really excited to be throwing some kicks your way and a bunch of cool fun workouts for not just our skills but general strength overall. You guys stay tuned, and like I said, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can stay involved with all of our content. It's hours and hours of content every week. So come check us out. Thanks guys. Love and support. Adios.